I'm just going to whiz very quickly through how to multiply and divide and add and subtract fractions. So first of all, let's talk about, I'm going to divide this up. First of all, let's talk about how to multiply. So there you multiply the numerator times the numerator, if you've got two different fractions, and the denominator times the denominator. Simple as that. So if we've got, let's say we've got a half times 1/2, we could also express that, this is an interesting point, as 1/2 of 1/2. Those two statements are equivalent. But anyway, that is 1 times 1 over 2 times 2, which is 1/4. And you could think of that, so here we've got 1/2 is shaded in, and then if we take 1/2 of that, this piece, we move it over here, that will leave us with 1/4 shaded in. So that's simple enough. Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. Now division is a bit more complicated, but here you just what we call flip and multiply. So what do I mean by that? So if we've got one fraction, so numerator 1 over denominator 1 divided by numerator 2 over denominator 2. So all of these could be any number within the rules of fractions. So then what do? You flip this, so we have numerator 1 over denominator 1 times denominator 2 over numerator 2. So that's what you do. So here's an example. So let's say we've got 1/4 divided by, sorry, 1/2 divided by 3/4. So that is equal to 1/2 times 4 over 3. I flipped and multiplied the 3/4 to make it 4 over 3. So that's 4/6, and I can simplify that to 2/3 if I wanted. And just as a proof, what would of why that this works if you flip and multiply. Let's do the same thing, but we're going to multiply the top and the bottom. Divide the top and the bottom. So if we've got 1/2 divided by 3/4, so that's equal to 1 divided by 3 over 2 divided by 4. So that's just using the same principle as for multiplication. So that would mean we've got 1/3 over 2/4, and then if I wanted to get rid, we can't have a fraction in a fraction, that's against the rules, so I want to multiply that by 3 over 1 because this will multiply out, this will cancel out, but then to keep the whole thing equal to 1, I've got to put 3 over 1 in the denominator as well. So that gives us 1 now on top, times 2 times 3 over 4 times 1. So that's 1 over 3/2. Same principle as before, so we're going to times this whole thing by 2 over 3 over 2 over 3. So that gives us 2 over 3 all over 1, which is 2/3, which is the same as we got before. You don't need to, no, this is just keep me honest, prove to you that it works. Now, so that's multiply and divide. Now how about add and subtract? So this is where our common denominators that we just thought about a couple of videos come in useful. So the first thing we have to do is find a common denominator. And then we have to change the fractions to be in that denominator. And then within those parameters you just add the numerators together. So remember that subtraction is just the same as adding a negative number. So if we've got 2 minus 1, then that's the same as 2 plus minus 1. So add and subtract is exactly the same, really, arithmetically. So bear that in mind. So let's have an example. So if we've got how about if we've got 1/2 plus 1/3? If we draw that out, that gives us 1/2, these are meant to be even, sorry, plus 1/3. So if we draw scribble in those pieces, that gives us 1, 2, 3, and then 2 of these red ones, 1, 2, that gives us 5/6. If we just do that by hand. So, but actually what would we do? If we're doing the sum, so we have to find the common denominator, is 6, so that's 2 times 3. So in this case, the easiest common denominator is the same as the lowest common denominator. So therefore, 1/2, I multiply that by 3/3. And then we've got plus 1/3 times 2/2. So if we multiply the top and the bottom here together, that gives us 3/6 plus 2/6. So now we've got both of our fractions with the same denominator, and then I add the numerators together, 2 plus 3, 5/6. And I'm just going to run through another example, which is slightly more tricky, but exactly the same. So how about if I've got 23/41 minus 71/101? Why not? So that gives us, so if we've got 23/41 minus 71/101, so here I would multiply that fraction by 101/101. I'd multiply this by 41/41. So that gives us 23 times 101 minus 71 times 41 all over 101 times 41. So equals to, our common denominator is 4141. 2323 minus 2911. So I just subtract 2911 from 2323, and that gives us minus 588/4141. So it doesn't matter finding a common denominator how big and unwieldy your numbers are, you just multiply them together and get the two fractions into the same denominator that way. And it doesn't matter that the fraction's negative, that's absolutely fine. No problem at all about that.